Growing up in the 80s and 90s, we literally had it all. No worries, no bills, just the best music, toys, TV shows, video games, wrestling was awesome, and we definitely had the best movies ever.
My blood is in your veins.
You want to be like Fonzie, don't you?
Help, hi.
Why are you pushing me?
Our pets' heads are falling off!
The only thing we serve is tongue.
I'm Ryan, owner of 80 Cinemas and 90s to the Future on Instagram, and that's my cousin Joe. We're just two guys who love everything about the 80s and 90s. Together, we're traveling through the timeline.
Here we are.
What's going on, my man? How you doing?
What's up? Nothing. Glad to be here.
Likewise. All right, guys, welcome to Timeline Live. We are finally able to do this. We actually been talking about this for a while, and I said, why not? And, we decided on a day, and here we are. We have some questions already down in the feed. I'll answer all the questions as much as I can, guys. But I just wanted to let everybody know that we're so excited to really be here. And we felt like if we were to do this on Twitch, it wouldn't have meant, I guess, a lot, if that makes sense. Because Twitch is great, but it's not as good as it would be if people don't like the transition. And I get that. I understand that. So I'd rather just do it this way, and we'll continue to do Timeline on here.
Yeah, it's probably easier this way.
I think it is a lot easier this way. And the good thing about this is we don't have to really do much because this will record it and then it'll be able to be posted. So, but I'm excited to be back. Joe, I know you're excited to be back.
Sure.
And it's just, I had to take a little bit of a sidestep from 80 Cinemas because, I explained on my story that I wasn't okay. And I was just posting here and there. And I just wanted to say thank you to everybody that has reached out, that was messaging me and, concerned. They were like, oh, how come you're not posting and stuff? And I just had to get my mental health a little bit better. And, 80 Cinemas has been my life for the last almost 5 years. It's taken a lot of my time, and I'm not upset with it. It's a lot of dedication that goes into this. And I don't think a lot of people understand that this is actually it is. It's a full-time job to run this type of page. And I run 2 of them. And I do it by myself. But it's because I want to do it and I'm happy to do it. But I just wanted to say thank you to everybody that's reached out. I really do appreciate everything. And again, I'm really, really happy and excited to be here. This is actually we're going to actually have topics of what we're going to talk about each week. We just wanted to go over the formality of how the show is going to go. And you guys will actually get to pick some of the topics. I'll post some stories up there, and you guys can, just give some suggestions as to what you guys want to hear. We can talk about, me and him can talk about everything 80s and 90s all day long.
Yep.
Literally all day long.
That's what we do anyway. When we're not working, that's what we're doing.
That is true. That is very, very true. So, we just, the 80s and the 90s is the 2 greatest decades of all time. I mean, hands down. I mean, you can't get the things that we had back in the day. I saw a picture the other day. I forget who posted it. And I think you sent it to me. It was Giggles.
Yeah, the cookies. We used to eat those like crazy.
We used to eat them all the time. And,
Yep.
and even for me, that took me back, man, because I remember my mom used to have a stack in the corner of the kitchen and it was piled up.
Yep.
And we would just go like crazy. We would have to get more this store, and that's a whole other subject. We could have stores around anymore. But I mean, so many things just so different days, man. It really.
Yeah, Yeah, I feel like growing up during those times was we were the last kids to like be playing outside. We were the first kids to play video games. We were around for when all this real important technology started. You know, right now the way social media saturates everything, and how important online interaction is now. And we were there for the beginning, and I think that's what makes the 80s and the 90s so amazing, and what sets them apart from any other decade. And then we're lucky enough to have grown up in those 2 decades that, you know, it just makes us lucky. You know, we're the luckiest people in the world because we got to see all that stuff start, and we got to see it grow, and we get to see where we are with it now, where we're old enough to see our stuff start to be rebooted and revamped or sequeled or prequeled, and we get to pick it apart and have fun. Like, that's what we're here for right now. You know what I mean? Is to talk about all that kind of stuff, how things make us feel and how we feel about them now. And for everybody watching and for everybody who follows your pages, I think it's important for them too. And that's why doing it this way, I think, is the best way, because then we get to interact with everybody. We get to answer questions. We get to talk about topics that you guys want to talk about, not just what was posted, or we could talk about what he posted today or yesterday or last week, and we get to elaborate more on those things. And that's what we love to do. This is just a hobby of ours that turned into this, and Ryan, you turned it into something special with your 2 pages, and you know, and we feel like this is a good way to bring everybody together and start something new.
It's you know, when I think of the 80s, I think of Willow, Back to the Future, Dirty Dancing, Roadhouse, which you haven't even seen Roadhouse.
I've never seen Roadhouse. No.
You're missing out, man.
It just never happened.
Fantastic. The Outsiders, E.T., Goonies, Christmas Story, Christmas Vacation.
E.T. was actually the first movie I went to the movie theater to see. That was my first theater experience, E.T.
Huh.
Yeah. That's pretty incredible.
E.T. was your first movie ever?
My first movie that I saw in a movie theater. Because I saw it when it came out in theaters when I was little. And my parents brought me to see it. You know, I know I've seen other movies, like, you know, at home and stuff, and before VHS. And I know I used to have a friend that I know had Beta, but I was 2 years old, so I don't remember any of that stuff. But yeah, E.T. was my first theater experience.
You know, the first movie I remember seeing in a theater is No Holds Barred, unfortunately.
Oh wow! No,
yeah,
unfortunately, the movie's great.
It's so bad, it's great.
It's so bad, it's good, but it's bad the way we want it to be.
Yeah, I remember being in the movie theater watching that and having a hand over my face a few times, because that movie, even though he was in it, it wasn't really for kids. If you watch it today, it's not really for kids.
Yeah, not really.
Not really.
Yeah.
I mean, considering there's like a potential rape scene, like, I don't know where Vince McMahon was going with that.
Well, I think that's mostly just about Hogan saving the day. I don't think people looked at it as, oh, you know, she's about to get raped, or she might get raped or sexually assaulted, which nowadays you can't touch things like that. But back then, I think it was the picture painted to show Hulk Hogan as the hero, or, you know, Rip was the hero. And that's pretty much how you get there isn't always important. The fact is, like, what comes out of it is really the point. But yeah, well, I mean, totally. A lot of movies back then did a lot of things that they couldn't get away with now. So, and
that's what I mean. It's like certain things that they did back then, you definitely could not get away with today, unless it had that type of genre that you knew that type of movie that it was going to be. You know what I mean?
But also you have to also think of it this way: like, you saw that in the theater when you were 4.
That's what I'm saying.
You probably shouldn't have been there. Like, the thing is, like, that's not at all. But that's what we grew up with. Like, I was 5 years old when I saw Sleepaway Camp and Nightmare on Elm Street. I was not even in kindergarten when I saw those movies. I think
I saw Sleepaway Camp in like '89.
Yeah,
well, I was young.
I remember I wasn't even in kindergarten because it traumatized the shit out of me. It was real bad, you know. And growing up not understanding any of the movie except for what I'm seeing, because I'm only 4 or 5 years old, and shame on the people that I was with that let me watch it. But
it's your family. Your family.
Yeah, exactly. So, you know, growing up watching that, and then, you know, realizing it's not real, you know, and appreciating the art that those movies are, you know, which brought me
Yeah.
further along with Jason movies. My uncle took me to the movies in '88 to see Beetlejuice and Jason Takes Manhattan back to back. So I was 7 years old,
Yeah.
8 years old,
Mhm.
and we was seeing, you know, we went and we had a blast, dude. We had the best time, and I shouldn't have been seeing Beetlejuice, yeah, fine, but Jason Takes Manhattan, 7-year-old kid,
Yeah, no.
like Adam's 13, and I don't know, like he won't watch it. I mean, I'd let him if he wanted to, but if he was
Yeah,
7,
no.
I wouldn't try to make him watch a movie like that, you know. But yeah,
They don't
he
even
grew up.
make slashers like they do, like they used to.
Well,
It's not the same.
they try, but it doesn't have the same feel. It just doesn't. You know, they try to recreate things, and the problem nowadays, I think, with all that is they try to capture the feel and they try to bring it into the now, and it's just the motivation's different. I feel like the point of it is different now. You're trying too much
Yeah,
with
I
things
agree.
like that, you know, and there's not enough original material around right now. A lot of original material is different because it has to be, because of the times we're living in right now. You don't get a lot, you know, and I find myself, and you know how I am, a lot of times I won't watch something simply because everybody's watching it. You know what I mean? I'm kind of late to the
Oh, I
party.
know.
I'm late to the
Always.
party with stuff. Yeah.
Always.
And you know how I am, and then you got to talk me into it, or, you know, somebody else has to tell me. I need enough people telling me, listen, you got to see this before I get into it. And it's because not just because I'm biased as far as my love goes for 80s and 90s movies and anything, not just movies, but that's what we're talking about now. So let's stick to the movies. I don't want to give my time to something like that, because I'm going in there and I'm looking at it and I'm judging it. I'm looking at it like, oh, you're just trying to make money, you know. I appreciate Stranger Things for the feel of the time, and I mean they do a good job with that, and
Oh,
that was
they do a
another
great
one.
job.
Yeah, with giving you the feel, you know what I mean? They don't have to shove it down your throat or anything like that, and
No.
it's there. It's sprinkled in, you know, some, you know, salt and pepper of, you know, music, t-shirts, clothing, all that kind of stuff, and I feel like they do a really great job. I don't think that it's over the top or it's trying too hard.
I feel I know Stranger Things does a great job. I feel like we were laughing the other day about Cobra Kai.
Man, I seen somebody just ask about Cobra Kai.
Yeah,
And yeah,
yeah.
and go ahead. I'm gonna let you. You know, I'll respond.
So okay, so he, as always, he's always late to the party, like you said before, right?
Yeah.
I watch things when they come out, and I
Mhm.
binge watch it, and that's because I'm a freak when it comes to that stuff. Like I like it. I'd rather watch everything in one shot and then be so miserable at the end because there's no more of it.
Yeah.
It was the same thing with Stranger Things.
Yeah.
And it'll be the same way when the next 2 episodes come out on July 1st, because
Yeah.
I'm gonna probably watch those and then
I'm
just
gonna
be
watch
miserable.
them. I'm gonna watch them immediately too, because I have to.
But Cobra Kai, I love Cobra Kai. I do. I love it for all the right reasons and even the wrong reasons. Because
Yeah.
there's definitely a lot of wrong reasons for sure. However, season 4 we're on season 4, right? Because season
Yeah.
5 is coming out, right?
Yeah.
You were laughing uncontrollably
Yeah.
because Johnny was in the water and he was hitting the waves and the
That
eagle soars.
montage. That
But
montage.
again, that's how the 80s was.
It
And
was.
it shows how out of touch he is.
Yeah, and you know what? When I look at it that way, when you said that, yeah, because I was kind of losing. It was losing me, honestly, when I was watching it, because I like he's doing a good job of giving you that and making you understand that that's how he is, and because he's out of touch, like you said. And that
Yeah.
montage of the things he was doing was just so freaking funny. And then he's out there and he's punching the waves, and it reminds me of so many other ones, like Rocky, for instance. It reminds me of that. And he's
Yeah.
punching the waves, and then you see the eagle, and then the eagle screeches. Man, I
Mhm.
I was crying. You heard me.
Yeah,
I was crying.
I think that they wanted to do something that was different. That's something that hasn't been done in a very, very long time. Something that you don't see anymore in TV shows or in movies on montages.
Yeah. Well, yeah, and I think that bringing it to the show was cool because it gives you that feeling of
Mhm.
nostalgia with the style, and then showing you in it. exactly how out of touch he is, and the length he's going and the direction he's going, and that's where his mind is, you know what I mean? And because he's doing all he knows how to, the only thing he knows how to do, and what to do. So I thought that was great, and it brings me back a lot, because we did one of our old podcast episodes on the Karate Kid, and we talked about how that was one of our main films growing up, watching over and over and over again, and you know, one of our favorites of all time, and we did a whole show about it. And this show coming now to Netflix, I think, is what I was talking about. We're getting a chance to see a lot of our childhood stuff, you know, reimagined or sequeled or prequeled, and enough time has passed and enough people are still with us. Unfortunately, you know, Pat Morita's not around to be in the show anymore, but I think they're doing a great job with that, and we're lucky to get that. You know what I mean? We're lucky to still to have the streaming service like Netflix to be able to go out and give us something like that, you know, and that's the kind of stuff I like to see. You know?
Same. I mean, I like to see all that. I like that they're bringing back characters too. It's just everything's got a nostalgic feel. It's so the kids today or people today who are not familiar with the Karate Kid and who or really probably haven't really seen it, and they're watching Cobra Kai. We at least got to see that stuff growing up. So we've seen Kreese when he was younger. You know, like we've seen all that.
Well, that's what I meant. Like we got to experience it as it happened, you know. But what these shows are doing now is they're making those movies more relevant, where people are going and they're looking for them if they've never seen them before, and for some reason they're looking for something to binge, but they've never seen the Karate Kid before. They're looking for those. They're looking for the Karate Kid on DVD, or maybe they have an old VHS that they're gonna dig out of the attic or somewhere, or even on another streaming service where they're going to try to find it somehow to watch it. And it's new, like younger people are learning to appreciate that, and they're going back and they're seeing it, which is good, because it's giving younger people a chance. Like, look at Adam, my son. He loves all kinds of old vintage stuff. Like, he plays old video games. He likes to watch old movies, things I grew up on, and he appreciates them, even though he's, you know, only 13 years old. He appreciates them, and this gives new appreciation to the old things,
because it's a new like you said, it's a new generation. It's a generation being passed down. Again, there's certain things you don't see. You know, it's funny. I was in a store the other day, and I forget where was I in. I think it was Walmart, and they had the Super Soakers, the original Super Soakers.
Oh, I got the kids Super Soakers like last summer.
There were a few kids in the aisle, and they were looking at other stuff. And I remember as a kid, if my mom took me to Toys R Us or KB Toys and was like, hey, go pick out something, or, you know, as a kid, if I saw the Super Soaker, right? I forget what was it, what was it, the 50?
150, I think it was.
Or the 50, I forget. It was, I know it was green, and it was pink too, right?
It was green. Well, pink and yellow. The barrel part in the front was like an orange color, just, you know, in case the lime green gun made somebody think it was real, you got to have that orange cap on the front of the barrel.
I mean, it was it was a Super Soaker 50. I'm looking at it right now. So the barrel was green, the gun was yellow. And it was the same one. I don't know if it was the same make or whatever, but my point is that when I walked into that aisle, I saw that, and immediately my face lit up, because as a child, you know, my inner child was like, oh man. And I'll tell you this right now, if my girlfriend did not say anything to me, I would have bought it. I had to buy 2 of them for the kids, because I saw them, and I was at Target. This was last summer, and I was at Target, and I seen them, and I did the same thing. I'm buying these. I don't care how much they are. I don't care. I'm buying them, and I'm gonna give them to the kids, and I'm gonna let them have fun. They use them. Like that week they were using them, and then they stopped, and they're in the shed, and they're not. But the point is, like, just looking at them made you think of like how we felt when we were growing up, when we saw stuff like that. They were kids, the kids in the aisles, and they were literally passing them by. And
because they didn't have them. They're young now, so.
But the parents were like, oh, I remember that, and but not even to like, hey, come take a look at this. I'd be like, you better look at this. Like, this is what I had. Like,
when I bought them, I was alone. When I brought them home, and the kids weren't home from school yet, and I put each one on their beds so that when they came home from school, they went in, excuse me, Adam comes, he's like, what's this? So it's a water gun. And he's like, oh. I'm like, no, you don't understand. It's not just any water gun. That's a super soaker. And again, he's like, yeah, oh, all right. But then, you know, you fill them up and when you go outside with your sister and, you know, it's hot. It's 100 degrees outside. Go bless you. And they had the greatest time, you know. But I remember having them and running around the neighborhood with friends. And once you run out of water in like 3 minutes, you got to run up to somebody's house or your own house and fill it up again. And
they had so many versions. I'm looking at them now. They had the 100. They had the 200.
The 200.
I actually had the 200.
I had the double barrel on top with the circle in the back.
Top.
Yeah, me too. Yep, me too. There was one where you had to have it was a backpack with a reservoir of water. There was one, I don't remember. That was like, I think Bamboo was actually on here, and he had written the X2000, he said. And I think that's what we're talking about now. Maybe you could look it up. X2000 might have been the one with the backpack. I'm not sure. But I know that they had one of those. It was crazy. So,
you know, what's funny is the Super Soaker, it was by Laramie. I hope I'm saying that right.
Laramie.
Super Soaker 200. The original price in 1990 for this water gun was $175.
Yeah, my father I got it for my birthday, I think, because my birthday's in May.
Man, can you imagine a water gun? I actually think in Walmart that Super Soaker, I think it was like $40.
Yeah.
So, I mean, some things with inflation nowadays, but
that's like, I mean, it's a cheap thing to make, but it also isn't new. It's a retro.
Yeah,
it's a retro version of something old. It's not something that's gonna fly off the shelf, really. I mean, you know, it might because it's cheap enough, but it's not something they're looking to make a ton of money on. I don't know what the you know, the manufacturer's, you know, price points are. I don't know any of that stuff. I don't know what they're looking to do. But still, yeah, I'm just glad that they weren't $100, you know, because I had to buy 2 of them.
Well, the good news is you can get a used one of the original Super Soaker 50 for $100 used on eBay.
Yeah, but I just bought a new one at Target and it was like $34. So
yeah, and it's by Nerf. Nerf makes the new Super Soakers now.
Now they do, yeah.
Yeah, now they do.
That's cool.
Yeah,
that's really cool.
So I think it's great. The only one that they actually have as of right now is the XP50, which is what we had. The XP50. Oh, okay.
Yeah. They had like smaller mini ones too. I remember seeing the little mini ones.
I remember the commercial. What is better?
Mm-hmm.
The drill
sergeant.
I'm speaking backwards. Yeah, the sergeant. But it was just amazing for me to see, because you're walking into the aisle and you see something like that. But it's not just Super Soakers. Anything. Speaking of Willow, there were Willow characters in Walmart, like toys of Willow.
Right now, like recently.
Yes, but my thing is that like those things, at least for me, I don't think they would sell unless it's people like us who grew up with that stuff going in there looking for it.
What's going on?
Kids going in there are not going to look for it.
But you know Disney Plus is running a series that's going to premiere soon of a new Willow series with all the original actors. Warwick Davis is Willow again, and there's a new series that's going to be on Disney Plus. So that goes back to what I was saying before. You have a new series on a new streaming service that a lot of people are watching. Mm-hmm. They might not have seen the original one. They might be binging on a bunch of stuff, and they watch it and they really like it, and then they go look for the original. They can watch it on Disney Plus, and then they see toys in the store, and they might go, "Oh my God!" Or the people that watched the original one in the theater when it came out, or maybe just on VHS when they were a kid, and they see those toys and do what you and I would do: buy it for their kids, or maybe just buy it for themselves and display it in the room, like I display all my junk back here. They may do stuff like that. So there's a market for it. There's a customer for it, you know. And you know, to see those in the stores is kind of cool, because like at least I don't remember seeing any. They don't have commercials for toys anymore like they did when we were kids also, because the advertising is different. They're advertising on, you know, mobile games and stuff like that. They advertise differently now, you know what I mean? So a lot of that has to do with, I think, just where the customers are that they're trying to reach. You know, I'm watching TV, even if I'm on, you know, social media, I'm not seeing ads for toys, you know what I mean? But again, I'm not a kid. I'm not watching TV during the day. But when we were kids, the TV had cartoons, Saturday morning cartoons. Now you can watch cartoons whenever you want to, so you don't need Saturday morning to give you a 4-hour block, you know what I mean?
Saturday mornings, let me tell you, because I'm off on Saturday, sometimes when it's quiet, if my girlfriend's sleeping.
When nobody's watching.
When nobody's watching, I will, like, on my phone, watch Muppet Babies. I will watch Alvin and the
Sure,
Chipmunks.
of course you
At
would.
my age, absolutely.
Definitely.
And that's how I post sometimes, like my cartoon Saturdays, my video game Sundays. That's how I start. And people sometimes ask, like, how do you know, like, what to post, or why do you post certain things? It's because of what I'm playing that
Whatever
day.
strikes you at the time. Exactly.
Yeah. Why I was playing Gradius, was it like 2 weeks ago?
Yeah.
Don't ask. I came across the game. I played it when I was younger, and then to me, I was just playing it for like an hour, and I sucked at it. It was horrible, and it's still horrible.
I remember playing it back then and not being good at it, and I couldn't. It didn't interest me enough because I couldn't absorb myself in it. Like it wasn't just hard enough to keep me intrigued to keep trying. It was too hard, so I dumped it. I remember a lot of games that I played back then that I did that with, that a lot of people claim are classics, and like Pitfall. Remember when Pitfall came out for Nintendo?
Sure.
I remember a lot of people liked Super Pitfall, not Super Pitfall, but Pitfall for the Atari. And the Nintendo version came out, and I had NES, you know, so my father got it for me because it was a new game, and everyone made a big deal. And even he played the Atari version of it, so he thought this was going to be the greatest thing. So I was excited. Oh, man, I never played the Atari Pitfall because I was too young, I think. But I popped the game in, and I never forget this, playing Pitfall. I fucking died 100 times with it, like, in 10 minutes. I'm like, I'm not playing this game. This is terrible. So I didn't play it. And he's like, oh, what, you don't like it? No, I like it, but it's hard. Like, you play it. And then he would play it. He would get into it, and he'd be playing it. But, like, certain games like that, you know, are hard. Like the Ninja Turtles NES game. Like, I loved that game to death, but I could never get past the underwater part.
Neither could I.
Never in my life. But, yeah, like that. It was
Ninja Turtles. Ninja Turtles is hard. I played Ninja Turtles. I would say, and I didn't put it up, but I played Ninja Turtles about a month ago, and I still have no patience for it. I wanted to literally. I mean, to be fair, I was not playing it on the original Nintendo. I was playing it on emulation. And
I have a problem with them.
I still wanted to throw the controller,
of course,
against the wall because I was just so frustrated. How do they expect a child to, if I'm 37, 3 years shy of being, actually 2 years shy of being 40, and I can't get past this, you want a 7-year-old to do this?
And I always said that growing up. Like even now at my age, my you know, my adult mature brain and my hand-eye coordination and reflexes and my adult focus and 3 Red Bulls, and I still have no clue what the F I'm doing. Like I have no clue.
You know, it's hard, man. It's definitely hard. You take a look at a game like Ninja Turtles, and then you go, what year did that Ninja Turtles game come out? I think it was like 87 or 88, right?
Yeah, I think it was.
Let's see, Teenage Ninja Turtles NES release date 89.
Oh, okay. We
So
weren't far off.
So let's fast forward all the way to 2022. The new game is dropping tomorrow.
Shredder's Revenge. I know. I'm on vacation, so I'm gonna be playing that all day long, man.
You're lucky, man. I gotta. Unfortunately, I'll be up early. You know, I'm gonna go to the gym and stuff, but I unfortunately I have to work at 8 o'clock, so I can't. I wish I could, but I can't. But that game. It looks like it's from our time in the 80s and the 90s.
It looks just like Turtles in Time in the arcade and Super NES, and I think IGN gave it an 8, which is pretty cool.
Oh, it's fantastic. That's a great rating.
A lot of times I go by, like, I see a lot of different websites and pages rating games and movies and stuff like that, but I find that IGN is one of them that I'm kind of on the same page with most of the time. When they rate a game higher than, you know, I'm pretty much in agreement most of the time after I try it. So I was looking forward to it anyway. I don't care if they gave it a 3. I'm still getting it. I'm still going to play it. Because it's going to be fun, you know?
Oh, for sure.
Dude, how many hours did we spend playing Turtles in Time? How many hours?
On easy,
NES,
how many
Super NES.
How many continues? Because the continues were...
Yeah, but again, that's another game that was so much fun. Even if we were deep in and we lost all our continues, we would start it over and play it again, and we would just keep doing it.
I recently played Turtles in Time. I actually posted it this past Sunday.
The original one or the remade one that I have that one on
No.
the PS3?
Well, the Super Nintendo one. Turtles in
okay.
Time. Big Apple, 3 a.m.
Yeah.
Baxter Stockman.
Yep.
And I started from the beginning, and I went all the way to the end, and I beat Super Shredder.
By yourself?
It took me about
wow.
7 tries,
Yeah.
and a lot of frustration, but I enjoyed every minute of it.
Yeah.
Every minute of it, and I love these games. Have such high replay value.
Yep.
They really do.
Yep.
You can take a look at other games today, and I'm still a gamer. You're a gamer too, as old as we are.
When I have a chance,
games.
yeah.
When we have chances.
Definitely.
I stopped my gaming for a while just to try to get back on track with certain things.
Sure.
But I love games. I love video games. It's how I decompress. It's how I like to just zone in and do my thing.
Yep.
But Turtles in Time holds a special place. I think it's because of not only the characters, but just the story itself and the level.
Story was good.
And you have every single Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles character there.
Yeah. And it was so much fun because we were really into Turtles.
Except for
Rocksteady and Bebop. They were in the game.
Bebop and Rocksteady were not in the game. They were replaced with Toka and Razor.
But
there was something going on with the rights to Bebop and Rocksteady for some reason.
They might have just wanted to promote the sequel movie.
No, I read that there was some type of issue.
That's weird though. That's so odd, right?
With Bebop and Rocksteady, that there was some type of like issue where they couldn't use them for some strange reason, and it was the same thing in the movie as well.
They put them in the remake though.
That terrible CGI remake, yeah.
No. I'm talking about the game. The one that they redid and they released on all platforms. Like you got it on Xbox and PlayStation. Because I got it for PS3. I downloaded it. And there's all different. It's different. There's different levels. Like there's different bosses and stuff like that.
You know what?
What?
Bebop and Rocksteady are in Turtles in Time.
That's what I thought.
It's the pirate ship.
The pirate ship.
Yes, the pirate ship.
Man, you're gonna make me go play it right now. I'm gonna go play it.
The pirate ship is Bebop and Rocksteady. When you're on the train, it's Leatherhead.
Yeah, the train is Leatherhead. Yeah, hold on.
The train is Leatherhead right now. Yeah, I'm looking it up too, and that's what I remembered. Yeah, they actually have, which is kind of funny. NECA actually made those pirates, Bebop and Rocksteady figures from that level.
Yeah. Hold on. I thought
was hysterical.
They did. I'm looking at the figures right now.
Yeah, it's the pirate level when you go back in time. Yeah.
See, I'm not that old, you know. I remember some things.
Sometimes things slip past.
Yeah, I'm looking at it right now.
But I'm looking forward to Shredder's Revenge when I get a chance to play it.
Absolutely.
It's just even the look of it. Like I said, it brings me back to Turtles in Time, and I'm totally looking forward to it.
Yeah, me too.
For anybody that's interested in playing Shredder's Revenge, it comes out tomorrow. I think tonight midnight on PlayStation 5 and Xbox, and I believe Switch as well. Digital. That's the digital copy. You have to.
Yeah,
I think like a month or so.
Physical copies. There's all different types of physical copies. I saw also that you'll be able to purchase, but I don't think it's until next week. I think the 24th. But they have different packages with all different kinds of special shit inside. You know how they do. They make money.
There's no PlayStation 5.
No, not a physical copy. No, only digital for PS5. Only digital. I don't care about that. Like it depends on the game. Like Resident Evil's either way. If it's Resident Evil's, I'm buying all the physical copies. Really, I'm not really going to download. I like to own all the physical copies of those.
Resident Evil. Man, we could have a whole episode about Resident Evil.
I think we should do an actual episode. Oh, pal, look at Steven. He's our biggest fan. How sweet. But
you gave us so much shit about doing Timeline before it. I thought that was kind of funny.
Yeah.
I thought that was kind of funny. No, we could definitely do a whole episode about Resident Evil or just games in general. I think
we could do that. But like the original Resident Evil director's cut, when I first played it, hooked me.
Scared the hell out of me.
It was scary. It was amazing. It was just so well done. It was so much fun. Mm-hmm. I remember talking to friends about it and what's up, Bamboo? How's it going, man?
What's going on, brother?
Talking to friends about how far did you get? And I remember when I got my PlayStation 1, my father got it for me. He hit the number. He played, lotto and everything. He hit for whatever it was, and he took care of me. And he bought me a PS1, and I was so thrilled. I didn't expect it. It was a surprise. So I didn't have any games, and I didn't know anything, you know. So I went to the Blockbuster down, you know, where McCrory's used to be. Speaking of, you know, old school 80s shit, McCrory's. I went down there and I went to go rent the game because I remember hearing about this Resident Evil game, and I didn't know what it was or anything, but I remember hearing it and reading about it and stuff like that. And I rented it. I brought it home, sat in front of my TV in the dark, playing it, and I got all the way up to the Nautilus, the Shark Tank part where you got to electrocute the shark without dying, and then I died. But the one thing I didn't know as a brand new PlayStation owner is that I needed a memory card to save all my progress. So guess what? I had to start all over again from the beginning because I didn't have a memory card and I didn't know I needed one. Yeah. Fucked up.
That
right?
hurts. That hurts my soul.
Dude, it was so bad. And then, but you know what? It was rough because I knew how, like, I was 4 hours into the game, man. And I was really careful, and I was, you know, how you play in that game. You got to tiptoe, and you don't know what's going to come out. And
find things, make sure you have ammo.
Yeah, man. But got a memory card as soon as I could. Don't remember if it was the next day or night or whatever it was. I don't remember. But I got one, and I played it again. And then I played it again and again and again. And I never stopped from that one on. And you know what the sequel was like with us, because I was living with you when that came out. We were living together back then and we played that nonstop too. All through the night.
Kids today don't know the struggle of a memory card.
Shit, man. I mean,
Nintendo 64 had the memory pack. If you had a memory pack, you couldn't save certain things.
Yeah.
You know how many times I tried to play No Mercy? You don't have a memory pack. Okay, well then I guess whatever I create and whatever I play, I'll just restart it tomorrow. That's not a big deal. After 16 hours of progress, it's totally fine.
Dude, it was great. Realizing that at the wrong time was the worst. It was heartbreaking, and you know, wanted to throw up. But yeah, I mean, and now Resident Evil, we get the remakes, all the remakes that came out, and now we have. Yeah, I have all my memory cards too, Bam. I don't need them anymore, but I got them.
I think I have two. I think I have a PlayStation 2 memory card, and I do have a Nintendo 64 memory pack because
I got all of them.
I was given a Nintendo 64, and the memory pack was in the controller, luckily. So I was like, all right, that's cool. I appreciate that. But memory packs, I mean, you need it for those games. You definitely need it for those games. If you're playing it on emulation, you definitely don't need anything because you could just save and save and save.
Yeah, you don't have to worry about that.
Which is great.
Anymore.
But yeah,
we were the guinea pigs.
yeah, no, dude, you couldn't. And I remember the Nintendo 64 had a Rumble Pack. You remember the Rumble Pack?
The Rumble Pack, yeah, that was fun.
Nintendo 64. I'll never forget where I was when I first saw the Nintendo 64. I was actually going to get Power Rangers for the Super Nintendo. And it was, you know, when you go into Toys R Us, they have all the Super Nintendo boxes on the side. And they had PlayStation already there. But I was too young for PlayStation. And I wasn't allowed to have one. And I was still on the Nintendo phase. And as we were, like, online to get to pay for the game, I remember there was a huge, like, TV screen, but it was wrapped up in what looked like toilet paper, and it had these two arms sticking out, and over the two arms under the two arms were the controllers for the Nintendo 64. And this is going back to like what 1990, the late 95. And I remember seeing the middle of the Nintendo 64 controller with the middle piece, the thumbstick, and I remember touching it. And the employee was like, "You can't touch that. Can't touch it." And I was like, I didn't know what it was. And it said coming soon. So even though she said, don't touch it, I lifted it up and saw the whole controller. And it said Nintendo on it, and I flipped out. Right away, that Mighty Morphin Power Rangers for the Super Nintendo meant shit. Because I saw the controller for the Nintendo 64. And literally, I think it was, I want to say about a month later, I was in FuncoLand, and they were showing they had a demo of the Nintendo 64, and this is when we were living in I was already out in Long Island.
Yeah.
But I was staying. I think I was with. If I remember this correctly, I was staying. We were in Brooklyn for some reason. I think we were in Flatbush, and we walked into a video game store, and that's where I saw it was Funko Land. But I remember seeing the demo display for the Nintendo 64, and that was where I played the demo of Super Mario 64. Nothing else mattered after that.
Yeah,
nothing. Super Nintendo literally, and the screwed up thing is that when I went back to school and I was trying to tell people that there was a new Nintendo system coming out, we didn't have IGN, we didn't have GameSpot, we didn't have any of that. We didn't have the internet to go around and be like, oh, you know what? There's a new system coming out. You can look it up. It wasn't like that. That was all hearsay. So I looked like the biggest liar to my friends going into school going, listen, Nintendo has this three-pronged joystick that's coming out, and nobody believed me. It was horrible. But I had the controller in my hand. I was playing it, and that Christmas is when I got Christmas of '96. Actually, is when I got the Nintendo 64, and it was something that I'll never ever forget. Nintendo Power Magazine. Nowadays, I don't even if Nintendo Power Magazine's still around. I don't think it is. I don't think it is. I think Game Informer might be still around. But there's nothing
I have no idea. I haven't bought or seen magazines in years.
I don't know if it's funny that Game Informer still around? I wonder.
Those things, I remember we lived on those things. I would be in the supermarket looking at the magazines, and I would rip the page out of something that I wanted to keep.
Game Informer is still around.
Oh wow.
It's still
magazine?
around.
The physical magazine?
Physical. You can actually subscribe and get the magazine today if you wanted to.
Why would anybody want to do that?
I don't know. But what I was trying to say is
crazy. Atari, Sega, Nintendo,
even with stuff like that, we don't get spoilers how we do on the internet. As a matter of fact, the company will release some type of spoiler, or you'll see it on Twitter or Instagram or something like that before.
Because that's where the customer is. Like I was saying before, they're advertising and where they need to advertise. And when you see it there, like you're more likely to see it in those places than anywhere else. People that subscribe to gaming magazines like that are probably people that don't know how to use the internet or don't have a smartphone or a computer. I don't know. Like there's still got to be some people out there like that, I'm sure. I mean, just because we're not like that doesn't mean. I can't imagine. Like I don't know why. Like I have no use for it. That doesn't mean no one else would. But like I would have no use for subscribing to a physical magazine for something like that because I could just go online. You remember we'd rent shit from Blockbuster or Hollywood Video, and it would be like 11 o'clock at night, and we'd be playing whatever it was. Like yo, go on GameFAQs and see what we're supposed to do. And then you would go, or Michael would go and look up GameFAQs. Like go on GameFAQs. And, all right, what? There any codes for it yet? No, not yet. And we would always do that. Like, oh, man, like, we got to look up game. I remember that was helpful with Grand Theft Auto with Vice City. Remember when we got Vice City?
I'm going to tell you something right now. GameFAQs is still around, and it looks the same, and it's updated.
Oh, cool.
To the PlayStation 5, the Xbox One, the Switch.
Oh, yeah, they have all the consoles and stuff like that. That's so crazy.
The same. The website layout is the same.
Park Video, Bam, and Starrett. Remember Park Video? Yep, I remember that.
Yeah, with Winona. I'll never forget that.
Yeah, man. But, like, yeah, definitely. I mean, but these games, again, like, they're coming full circle. Like, all the popular games that we played when we were younger, we got remakes and revamps, and there may be more titles that we want to see redone. I don't know, like, for me, Nintendo 64, when I first got it, I don't remember when I first got it, but I got the Legend of Zelda Ocarina of Time pack. I don't remember what it was for, like birthday, Christmas, something like that. I don't know.
The pack, you mean like the game itself?
No, I think the Ocarina came with that 64 bundle that I got.
You mean the actual system?
Yeah. When I got the system, the game that came with I think it was Ocarina of Time, because you know what it was. I don't remember playing Mario 64 without being with you. I don't think I had a copy of Mario 64. I don't know why that is. I'm just assuming. I seem to remember maybe that's what it was. But regardless of that, Ocarina of Time, we spent hours playing. Zelda's one of my. We could do a whole show about Zelda too. But my favorite N64 game is probably going to be weird to a lot of people. It's not GoldenEye. It's not Mario 64. It's not Ocarina of Time. It's Star Fox 64.
That's still, I mean, it's great.
Dude.
Don't get me wrong, it's great. But
You
actually,
know
I'm
why?
looking, I'm looking up really quick. I'm looking up The Legend of Zelda: Ocarina of Time, and it was a special value pack. It actually came with Super Mario 64 and Ocarina of Time.
Okay.
And I had the same bundle because that year when I got it, I got Wave Race on the side, and I got Super Mario 64 and Ocarina of Time in the box together.
Okay, yeah. So then that must have been, yeah, we must have gotten them around the same time.
You had the gold
The-
Ocarina of Time. Or was it Majora's Mask that you had gold?
No, the Majora's Mask was the lenticular cover where you moved it. I don't think my Zelda was gold.
It was gold. I'll never forget you had the gold Ocarina of Time. I was so jealous about it.
I wish
'cause
I
was
still
like,
had
why
it.
do you-
I don't fucking have that now. I gotta go
Yeah.
look at with all my stuff now, all my junk to see if I still have that.
You might
I
still
don't know.
have it. You might still
I
have
might.
it.
I know I got almost everything still. Whatever we didn't trade or whatever, or I still have. Like some games I don't have, but I have all my systems. I don't have my my NES, but I have my SNES. I have my I don't have. Do I have my Sega Genesis? I think I do. I have my Dreamcast, which was actually not the original one. It's the one that you got me later on. You traded it for me. You got me that with Seaman. I still have my.
And you have Shenmue with it, right?
I have Shenmue. Yep. I still have my fucking. I have N64. Carla has her N64. I have 2 GameCubes, PlayStation. I have every system except for Xboxes. I don't have any Xboxes. None.
Dreamcast. You know what I remember for Dreamcast? I remember coming to visit you in Brooklyn. I think I was like 14 or 15 at the time. And we took the bus to go get,
Resident Evil Code Veronica.
yes.
Yep.
Yeah, I'll never forget that. It just came out.
That game was
And-
a bitch.
It was. And I remember because it was only out for Dreamcast. It didn't come out for anything else.
Yeah, no, it did come out for PS2 later on, which
Later
I
on.
bought. I bought it for
Later on.
PS2, but it
Yeah.
and it was expensive. It was like $90 for that shit for some reason. I don't know why. I
remember
remember
we-
having to buy it.
For Dreamcast, we played hours of Seaman.
Oh my god, man! Seaman was the best.
Seaman was great. It was weird, but
it was
great.
weird, but it was fun. I used to change the internal clock forward so I can play it quicker.
Yeah, so he would grow faster, right?
Yeah, if you open the lid and let it run or something like that in the middle of playing, you could change the time and then close it and it would reload and it would zoom forward. That was really cool. That was really fun.
It's amazing. Like, we got to do a whole episode on video games. We got to do just one whole live about
Yeah.
video games because video
Yeah.
games would be. But I just. Oh, really quick, tell us why Star Fox is your favorite. I got to hear this.
Well, because of the replay value and because there was a high score to be gotten, and there were different
Okay.
little, like, for the lack of a better term, warp zones that you can take. You can do certain things where you would go to the left and it would you'd have to activate it somehow and it would shoot
Through
you
the-
into a different
Yeah, we'll
so
go
you
to the
can conquer
directions
different
through the
planets.
waterfall.
You can get like that's yeah, exactly. And then you would have to get, each level you had to get a high score. And I always wanted to beat the high score. I always wanted to have the high score and beat my old score and remember where every little enemy was and try to play it. I would try to play it without getting hit, things like that. Like people do like speed runs on games, or they try to beat Ocarina of Time, which is 3 hearts, things like that. I used to do that with Star Fox 64. I would try to not get hit, try to not die, try to, all that stuff. It's been so long since I played it, but I still have the copy.
Star Fox 64 is there's so many things I remember. You Fiend, constantly getting hit, and
Yeah.
the giant hands at the end. What was that? Andros, right?
Andros,
Was
yeah.
Andros
Yeah.
was the end of
Dude,
the.
I haven't thought about this game in so long. Like just talking
Yeah.
about these things right now is just, making it pop into my head. I don't remember a lot of the stuff. All I remember is how much fun I had playing it.
Sure.
And if I had to bring up, without doing some research, who's what and what the names are and
Yeah,
all
yeah.
that, I couldn't do it. I couldn't. But
Yeah, I
honestly-
remember the characters. I remember the bird, the bunny, and obviously
The
Fox.
frog. It was a
And
frog.
the frog.
It was a frog.
Is his name Skippy, I think, or something like that?
Dude,
Something like that. I don't remember. What I wanted
we're just
to do-
we're just having just conversations. Like
Yeah.
there's no studying being done right now. Like,
No, for me personally, I'm just trying to, I guess, test my
Yeah.
memory.
exactly.
um,
I can't.
But what I will do, since it's almost been an hour, because the show is only going to be an hour, we're only going to do the lives for an hour.
Okay.
I did want to take some time to answer some of the questions that we have here. So someone, when I asked earlier, like, what did people want us to talk about? Someone said clothing. Now, if you want to talk 80s and 90s clothing, I have pictures of myself in Cavaricci's, like AC Slater jeans that my mom has of me with, for some reason, a t-shirt on and an Alf t-shirt for some strange reason. So I'm wearing AC Slater jeans and an Alf t-shirt. Why she dressed me that way? Maybe for torture. I don't know. I really don't know.
You're gonna dress yourself, so I mean,
well, yeah.
Just think of the time, man. Like you're talking in mid '80s, early mid '80s.
Like, I had the socks that go up to your knee with the rings.
Oh yeah.
You had them too. You had them too.
Those were just called socks. Like now.
Back then, those are the retros.
Those were socks.
Now they're retros.
Yeah.
But you don't see
tube socks.
Tube socks, right? Yes. You don't see certain things anymore, like brands today, unless I'm really not in touch with the now.
I think that's what it was. Like that's why I don't know what's going on right now. I'm not on top of all that shit.
You don't see like people don't make, and maybe it's because I'm not in touch with the now. But back in the day, you weren't cool if you weren't wearing Boss, Guess,
that was
Jordache.
Later on, but that's what I would say. Like when we were younger,
you know what I mean? Like when we were younger,
you used to get beat up if you wore Lee jeans. You used to get beat up.
yeah.
Don't wear Lees, you get beat up.
Oh, I used to get made fun of for wearing LA Gears.
LA,
the shoes that lit up. Oh,
I had Sergio Valente sneakers. I had Keds. I had what the fuck else did I have? Shit, man, oh man, I can't even remember. I like if you want to go back to when I was that young, I can't even remember. Like I remember we had Alf sneakers. Remember the Alf sneakers?
I do remember the Alf sneakers.
They were
absolutely.
like Converse, and we had those. And whatever my mother can get at Favor for $3. That's pretty much what I wore when I was. Oh my
God,
little.
Favor.
Yeah.
Favor.
Yep.
God, man.
Yep.
You know what's funny? I went into.
Yeah, used. That was like in the '90s though, Bam. Right? Tommy Hilfiger.
Mid
'90s. Like that's when.
Yeah.
Yep.
Wearing jumpers. The jumpers with only
with one strap,
with the one strap down. Yeah.
Yep.
Or the pant one pant leg up. Yeah.
Yeah. No.
There was
Pepe
somewhere
jeans.
I was somewhere recently and I walked in and I said, this place smells like Favor, like Payless.
This sneaker rubber.
And of course, my girlfriend had no idea because my girlfriend, even though she's in her 30s, she's 5 years younger. So she was like, what's Favor?
Cross colors. Like, yeah, Bam. I used to fucking go crazy. I wanted cross colors when I was younger.
Do you guys remember Stride Right?
Stride Right. That was a store. That was just like a sneaker store, right?
Sneaker store, yeah, for kids with fat feet like me.
They had wide sneakers.
And I had the Velcros.
The Velcros, yeah.
The Velcros.
I remember you used to always wear the Velcros.
I had the Velcros.
That's great. I remember I wanted I didn't want anything more. I forget how old I was. I must have been like 12 probably. I wanted red suede Filas, and I got a pair for Christmas, but they were too small for my feet. So my mother brought them back, but I never got a replacement pair, I guess, because if she got her money back, I think we needed the money more. So I had to still wear my old sneakers. So I got screwed out of a Christmas present.
Filas, Filas were great back in the day. Those were like these sneakers. If you had Filas on your feet, you were like the greatest thing.
I remember the Grant Hills. The Grant Hills in '96. I have a retro pair in my closet of those exact sneakers that I had back in 1996, I think, 95, 96. I still have. It's a new pair. It's a redone, a remake of the old pair. Same thing with the Allen Iverson Questions. I like those sneakers. Those are my favorite sneakers.
I had a pair of those. I think I wasn't a basketball fan. I didn't know who I was, but I think that
I just liked the way they looked. I wasn't too big into. I wasn't a fashionista. I wasn't someone who was like always trying to fucking dress in certain shit. I just wore clothes. You know what I mean?
Yeah, same.
I remember the hip hop Bugs Bunny shirts and stuff like that, where Bugs and Taz and Daffy would. Yeah.
I have a sweater. of me, a picture of me in a red sweater with the Tasmanian Devil on it.
Yeah. I have.
And standing in front of school
like
I was cool.
Yeah, of me wearing those kind of things too. Yeah, and I man, it was something else back then.
Just a great time, man. These clothes, let's see here. How amazing Adventures of Ford Fairlane was and why it's unavailable for digital download. It is. You'd have to probably buy it on Prime. I think the last time I saw Ford Fairlane was on HBO Max like 6 months ago.
Well, I'm going to look up where to get it right now.
Yeah, you can probably just hit watch movie, but to digital download, you can probably buy it off of Prime for sure. A great, you know what? Ford Fairlane is another great movie. It's so bad, it's good.
Yeah, but you have to be a fan of Dice.
Yeah, you have to be a fan of Andrew Dice Clay.
Yeah.
If you're not a fan of Andrew Dice Clay, then
1990.
Later, Bamboo. Thank you for joining, brother. 1990. It says here. Yeah, you apparently you can't watch the movie. It's not streaming anywhere right now.
No,
but,
it's not.
Amazon Prime. Like I said, if you go to Amazon, you can get it. Can you? No, you can't even stream it.
No, that's what I was just gonna tell you.
Wow. That's
not right
weird.
now.
That's very weird.
You can probably go online. You can get
That's
it at Amazon for $13.73 a DVD copy.
Again,
eBay
the movie
22.
is a classic, but at the same time, it's so bad it's good.
Yeah, again,
And
you
it
gotta be a Dice fan.
Gilbert Gottfried, Ed O'Neill, who's Al Bundy. Yep. I mean, just a great Wayne Newton plays the villain.
Yep.
Fantastic.
Yeah.
I don't recall seeing. There's a question here. I don't recall seeing any Street Hawk on here. That's because I wasn't a fan. I'm being real with you. I wasn't a fan of Street Hawk.
Yeah.
Were you a fan of Street Hawk?
It doesn't ring a bell, honestly. And a lot of the things that everybody should know, really, like, you know, we're not, like we said, we're not doing major research unless somebody wants us to do a show. If we get a lot of requests to do a specific topic that we don't really know anything about, we'll obviously do the research, talk about how we feel about it, and stuff like that.
Street Hawk was, it was a TV sitcom. I do know that much. I didn't feature it. I was going to feature it yesterday for TV Intro Tuesday, but it just slipped my mind. And I was like, you know what? I think
never heard of
Morning
it.
Miss Bliss was great. Street Hawk actually had Christopher Lloyd in it. And I think it was like 84 or 85. It was like one of those shows that would just like came and went. It wasn't on for like anything like that was really long.
Then explain it, because if you're looking at it right now on Google or something, because you went from not knowing anything about it to knowing an awful lot about it.
No, I know of it. I don't know a lot about it. I know of it. I know the TV show because people have been asking me about Street Hawk before.
Oh, okay.
I just never really posted about it. I'm not looking it up right now because personally,
because I thought you were looking at the screen.
fan.
I'm like, man, just talk about it. If you're
No. I'm looking at my sponsors here that I do want to read off. That's what I was looking at. But Street Hawk, I do know that from what I remember, the only thing I do remember about it is Christopher Lloyd.
Okay.
But
yeah, I didn't know that.
Yeah, it wasn't for very long. I remember that.
I know Christopher Lloyd on Taxi. I used to watch the shit out of Taxi growing up, and I know that's not exactly 80s. I think it was 70s, right? But it was definitely on rerun in the 80s. I used to watch it all the time. I would stay up late because it would come on like Channel 5 or Channel 9 at like 10 o'clock at night or 11 o'clock at night or something like that. And
yeah, sure.
I would love that show so much. I would stay up late to watch it. That the Honeymooners used to be on WPIX Channel 11. We used to watch Honeymooners at 11 o'clock at night. Cheers used to be on late at night.
Yeah.
I used to stay up to watch those shows, you know. And
yeah, I used to stay up and watch Cartoon Network and watch Scooby-Doo.
Scooby-Doo, yeah, back when the Cartoon Network was all old stuff and Boomerang didn't exist.
Which, well, I don't know about you, man, but I had fun.
Yeah, this was cool. It was a nice first show, you know.
It was a nice first show. We'll be back, as of right now, we'll be back next week.
Mm-hmm.
Same time at 8 p.m.
Mm-hmm.
I do want to mention that this Instagram Live was brought together by 3 sponsors, people that have been, 2 companies that have been very, very good to me, and a person who has, not my personal coach, but he's a very, very good coach. It's Keto D Coaching. If you're struggling with to shed weight and you want to get your eating habits under control, Coach David can help. You can reach out to him at keto__D. He has affordable keto coaching. This Instagram Live is also brought to you by Redmond Relight Electrolyte Mix, which contains the cleanest ingredients to get your electrolytes in, and Redmond Real Salt, the way it should be. You can head on over to Redmond.life.
In my bottle right now.
There
Drinking
you go.
it right now.
You can head on over to redmond.life and get yours today. And last but not least would be cases, where you can get awesome retro phone cases for iPhone and Android. You can head on over and sign up to get 40% off if you sign up with your email. They actually sent me this VHS case, which I greatly, greatly thank them for. I love it. So now I get to walk around with a VHS cassette tape in my pocket all day. I think it's awesome.
Could have done that anyway. It just wouldn't have had any use to you. You just walk around with any cassette tape in your pocket.
Well, that's true. Yeah. And then I would just look like a weirdo in the middle of Walmart or Target or Publix and just picking up
Look
a
what I
cassette
got
tape.
in my
Look what I got.
Just show it to random. Go up to random kids and go, "Do you know what this is?"
You know what
You're
this
gonna get
is?
kicked out immediately. They're gonna call the cops.
Probably. Joe,
Yes.
always a pleasure. I'm talking to you, bro. And we'll see you guys next week.
We'll be back.
Later, guys.
Thanks a lot, guys. Have a good night.